So as I was programming the motion of the truck, you could see here that the truck can move to the different locations, but I noticed there's a bug, and the bug is let's say I'm here and I press D to move to the right, but before the truck finishes moving to the right, I press A, right? So what happens there? Press D and I press A. So he goes over to here, but the place that he should be going is back to lane number 2. And you'll notice here that the variable says that he's in lane number 2. Right? So this lane variable doesn't reflect where he actually is. And now if I press D, he's going to move over to here, lane number 3, because the lane variable is equal to 2, where he is not currently. So now I'm going to press D, and he goes over there. Okay, so this is an issue, and the reason why this takes place, and let me go over it one more time. I press D, and before I finish gliding to lane 3, I press A. So, right, and what happens? He starts to glide to the right, but before he finishes, he moves back to the left, but he moves to lane number 1. Okay, so, but the lane variable is equal to lane number 2. All right, so why is this happening? It's because when I press D, it's going to run this code, and I am currently on lane 2, so it's going to be doing this topmost block. He's going to start to glide, but before he finishes gliding, I press A. Right? So when I press A, his lane variable is still set at number 2 because this glide is happening, and it hasn't yet change the lane variable from 2 to 3, right? So as he's gliding, the lane variable is equal to 2. I press A while he's gliding, and it's going to do this block because lane is equal to 2. And that's going to glide him to lane number 1, right? And then it's going to change the lane variable by 1, so it's going to change from 2 to 3, and then this one is going to finish gliding, and it's going to change the lane variable from 3 back to 2. So what's the end result is that the truck is going to be in lane number 1, but his lane variable is going to be equal to lane 2, and that's not good, right? And the reason for that is because we are changing our lane variable after we glide, and the glide takes half a second. So that half second is messing us up when we change lanes fast. All right. The way to fix this is pretty simple. We just need to change the lane variable before we glide. All right. So let's go ahead and just change the order here and make the lane variable above the glide. Okay. So that way, when I press D and I'm in lane number 2, the lane variable changes to 3, and then he starts to glide. Okay. Then I quickly press A, and when it presses A, it's going to do this block because my lane variable is equal to 3. And that's going to send him back to lane number 2, but not before changing the lane variable back to 2. All right. So the order of this code is important, right? Just like the order of these if statements are also important, because the computer doesn't have a brain. It just executes these instructions. It just checks and does and checks and does. So we need to put everything in the right order when we make our programs. All right. Let me double click on this start game, and now I'm going to press D and A very quickly, and you can see that he doesn't go to lane number 1. Right? I press A and D quickly. He doesn't go to lane number 3. Right? So now everything is working fine, right? I could play fast and I won't have any issues.